the other, that's not a choice. It's another strategy, another fatal strategy is of becoming somewhere. And this is for Nietzsche, that would be the what he calls the l'hypothèse souveraine, the sovereign hypothèse. I don't know where sovereign, as Monsieur said. Hypothèse souveraine. We can say, but it's a very not a genealogy. It was four stages. The first one would be inertia, motionless, and so on. The second would be changing. Changing is the second hypothesis. The third one would be history. History is more higher, and the last one, the sovereign hypothesis is becoming. It's something different. And we are far away from, from becoming, as in the symbolic metamorphosis, a symbolic return of things, and yeah. But in a sense, changing to a radical changing as it is today is free from any finality. It's no finality anymore. It's simply metastasis of. I would say that's not metamorphosis, not becoming. Then it may be a confusion, maybe. Sovereignty has no teleonomy, finality, and changing as neither. Between the two, we have a world with finality, with meaning, and so on. But on both sides, we have changing and becoming, but both have no finality. But they are not similar, of course. They are opposites. They are radical opposites.
David, you are guns. Okay. I have a few questions because we should not really torture you all the time. But there are some specific questions now. After we are in ontology, let's go back to some. Here, ask somebody all this hope question. Hoffnung. Was kann man noch tun? Can film, does cinema and film possess the possibility to become an event, an Ereignis, like a pure image can become an event, as you may have said in class?
Yeah.
Can cinema
have the question was already, we asked already the question, and I have no more answer than yesterday. I cannot say. Technically and significantly, I have not experiment enough of cinema. I enjoy cinema as pure spectator, as a wild spectator, without judging. And I chose this position, and I maintain it. Then I would not sacrifice my strange position, as stranger to cinema. Why? Maybe, of course, it's not anything. Nothing is excluded from singularity, but it's a question of complexity. And with a pure image as a photography or something like that, we can determine, we can have a frame, a determined frame for analysis, for putting in. I can say the pure image is from what we subtracted. We subtracted the noise, the meaning, the motion too, as a pure image. Then if we go to the motion image, to the cinema, I don't know what happens exactly. For me,
So
it's
it has to be
too complex to be analyzed as pure. It's of course not pure, but the pure image is in utopia. I have no illusion about that. But cinema, which has, of course, a value, a prestige as a progress. In regard to photography, cinema was regarded as a progress, motion, a plus of motion, but and then color as a plus of signification and so on, and cinéma parlant, mute. That's so successive sophistication of the image of the artwork. In our rational consideration, there is a progress towards we don't know what sort of finality, but it is supposed to lead to a perfection, to a radical sophistication. I think the contrary. I think every progress, every sophistication in this sense is the danger, not necessarily, but it's a risk of degradation, of degeneration of this. But that is not nostalgic. I don't consider the pure image as a lost object, but we must judge any complexification and so on at the same time as a plus and at the same time as a minus.
Would that also apply to another question? If you see the internet as a manifestation of singularity, would not be the internet on one hand you say it's not the complexity as such, you have to judge by looking closely what happens in the internet. Are not singularities, is the people setting up their own space?
No. Then at this point I'm sure there is no singularity.
Not even your own webpage?
And that not because I don't use internet, I'm not able, I'm technically, physically not able to use it. But that's not my...
But you know that you have...
That's not an opinion, that's not a doctrine, that's not an ideology. My refusal is not ideological. But what concerns the singularity, I'm sure that is not this immense, this overall possibility of play with identity, with information, with communication, and so on. It's exactly the contrary of a singularity. That's I would say it's rather autism, not singularity, but artistic activity. But it's not pejorative, and but it's artistic in the sense that in this virtual security, the web, in the net, there is no alterity at all. There is no dual relation with inter-individual interaction, maybe, or interaction with oneself, yeah. But no alterity, no challenge in this sense. But it can be the place for an infinite complexity. I mean, yes.
Yeah, you are the best example. There are, I think, 800 websites concerning you.
Yeah, but I'm not responsible.
And all of them are very different, you know. They are my Baudrillard, everyone in there. They are different. Productive misreadings.
It's not a compliment. I am an hostage for internet. I'm not an actor.